Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I have the pleasure to welcome you here at this conference, and we will speak about employment by the dealers in Europe, in France, in UK, Switzerland, Netherlands, Germany, and a little bit of France, I think also. What's quite interesting here, I don't know if you arrived this morning at SIMA show through the entrance from the suburb trains. At the entrance, you've got two combine harvesters. One who's 40 years old, who received a prize at SIMA show, and a new one from KZH, who was launched last year. In 40 years is quite interesting for us at this conference, and why? 40 years, it's an average time of somebody who's working. He began to work, he's 20 years old, he's gotten retired, he's 60 years old. So in 40 years, this is the evolution we've got. Machinery evolved, and people have to evolve. And by the dealers, it's true that the people you hired 40 years ago are not the same as today. And to my side, I'm working since 20 years now, and 20 years in the same sector, in the ag machinery sector, and the employment subject was a subject who was very difficult 20 years ago, and is already a subject now, with new technology arriving, with numerical technologies, with internet technologies. And we will see during this presentation, during this conference and roundtable at the end, that the subject is stronger every day. But I'm not here to make the conference alone. As an introduction, I will ask to Martine DEGREMONT, who is the director of SIMA Show, to say us some words.
Voilà. Je ne sais pas si on me voit parce que je ne suis pas très grande. Je vais peut-être parler comme ça, ce sera mieux. Voilà, je voulais simplement vous souhaiter la bienvenue. Nous avions, avec Anne Fradier du SEDIMA, il y a 2 ans, initié ce Dealers Day sur le SIMA, puisque les concessionnaires, les distributeurs sont des clients fidèles, des visiteurs fidèles et des partenaires fidèles du salon. Nous avons initié cette conférence il y a 2 ans, avec un premier sujet, cette année un second sujet. Et je suis vraiment ravie de vous accueillir aujourd'hui. Effectivement, je pense que le monde agricole change. Si certains d'entre vous viennent sur le SIMA depuis très longtemps, je rappelle quand même que le SIMA a été créé en 1922, donc il y a encore plus de 40 ans. Et c'est la 78e édition. Effectivement, le monde agricole change, le monde de la distribution aussi. Et le sujet choisi entre le Climmar et le SEDIMA cette année sur l'emploi, le recrutement, la modification de la distribution me semble super intéressant. Alors moi, je voulais simplement remercier Pierre Prime et Anne Fradier du SEDIMA pour être nos partenaires sur ce salon, bien sûr. Remercier le Climmar. Vous venez de plusieurs pays, je suis ravie. Je vous rappelle quand même qu'il y a sur le SIMA 135 pays différents nos visiteurs viennent de 135 pays différents. Et je voulais vous souhaiter à tous une très bonne conférence et un très bon SIMA.
Martine, merci. As an introduction, I will ask to Erik HOGERVORST, the president of the Climmar, to say us some word and to introduce the subject for today. Erik, take a place.
Take my place. Yeah. So thank you very much for giving me the time and the room here to give a short introduction on Climmar and what Climmar's position is on education and training. My name is Erik HOGERVORST. Since 4 years, president of Climmar. And Climmar being the international organization for dealers and repair companies. We have 16 members. So members of Climmar are the national organizations, not companies itself, but we are there to support and to promote the work of the national branch organizations. We don't do this alone. We do it together with our board, with three vice presidents: Joost Merks from Belgium, Ludger Gude from Germany, and Pierre Prim from France. And to be honest, most of the work, of course, is done by Jelle Bartlema, the General Secretary of Climmar. So Climmar and education and training. It's a difficult, not a difficult topic, but it's a topic for Climmar, where the education and training is mostly arranged, or is all arranged inside the national countries. And even in some countries like Belgium or Italy, for example, it's not nationally organized, it's organized in the departments. So what can the position of Climmar then be on education and training? What can we do? And we found together with our members that it's important for Climmar to have a common position on the theme of education and training. What this position is, I will explain later, but that we can have a shared initiative, not a splintered initiatives over all the countries. Of course, we need these national initiatives, but it's carried on a European level. Stimulate participation into the Euroskills competition. Our profession, the profession of mechanic on heavy machinery, is inside the Euroskills and inside the WorldSkills competitions. And we need to promote the participation of this, of the national members to work with this organization and to have there a big platform to promote our job. And of course then lobby with the relevant stakeholders, like for example, of course the manufacturers organizations, but also the European Union to get mutual funding for these skills competition and so on, for the promotion of our jobs. So what have we set out together to do? And we said together in all the countries the focus is on increasing the quantity, but mainly also the quality of the inflow of young people. So we need, and that will be in the next presentations, we need a different kind of employees, we need a different kind of people coming into our business. And how can we together develop this inflow and together develop the vision and the image of our profession? So for this we are working on, and we hope to finalize this at the end of the year, a common position paper on education and training. Development of the skills, and here it says 2018, so we are behind schedule. I will show you later, but that 75 of the countries inside Euroskills also actually participate in it. And initiation of an education improvement plan with the participating countries. Again, this will be done on a national level, but we can create a European platform for what is the skill level, so that everybody is working in the same way for this. Also for manufacturers, we think this is very important, that they can base their brand education on this same level in all the countries. The project team for this work is led by France, and then the UK, Germany, Italy, Belgium are in this. And it's led by Joost Merks, Vice President of Climmar. So the Climmar position paper, like I said, sets out to bring a European perspective into this education and recruitment. Why is this necessary? Why are we seeing the changes that we see today? The population in the European Union is migrating to urban living. The number of farms is decreasing, and the number of people employed in the countryside are decreasing. If we see, and over a longer term, how many people were involved in the agricultural business in one way or the other 30 years ago, and what it is today, this number of people is decreasing dramatically. So we need to find our people in a different way, maybe even in the cities, and attract them to come to our country, to our companies. So for this reason, we can say that the visibility and awareness of our industry is an all-time low. If this number of people over there is decreasing, we have to find them in another way. And that's something we have to start doing today. The young people's awareness of our industry is low. We are not able to clearly show the career path for these young people. What can they start with and what can they become? This is something that we have to set out more clearly. And the competition for these skilled engineers, so once we have trained them, it's very hard to keep them in our industry. And also therefore, the promotion of our jobs is very important. Some time ago, I even said on the last Climmar Congress that maybe also we have an internal image problem. We have to believe that we are a good and an interesting branch and an interesting profession. We have to believe this ourselves to be able to attract these young people. So what have we done with the skills competition? We've started in 2006 in Switzerland with the first Climmar skills. Our skill was not inside the Euroskills competition. So as a Climmar, we have set it up, mainly led by our Swiss colleagues, and we have set up our own Climmar skills. That was held 3 times in 2006, 2008 and 2010. And then SEDIMA led the way to get our job also inside the skills competition. And so we brought our setup of the skills competition, we brought it into Euroskills, into the World Skills organization. The first one was done in Spa, in Belgium, in 2014, the second one. And then came the decision to change the skills name from agricultural mechanic, so more focused on tractors only and agricultural machinery, into heavy vehicle maintenance. A broader spec, which also attracts, for example, the construction machinery, so makes the industry bigger and we think more attractive again for young people to come in. And also in this way, our profession was not only in the Euroskills competition, but also in the World Skills competition. So from 2016 in Stockholm, Budapest, and in 2020, and you are all invited to come to Graz, Austria, and to see what we are doing and how we are really promoting our job. If you see the amount of people that it attracts, the big tractors, then we shouldn't have this image problem, and we shouldn't have this problem with young people coming into our business. The participation started off with 5 countries joining the skills competition, and in 2018, so the last year it was held, there were 10 countries participating. So it's really growing. And even last year, a country like Russia was joining. But we see, for example, that Russia is joining, but we see other countries in Europe still not able to join this competition. So that's where we will work together with the Euroskills organization, how to create this and how to get this more inside all the European countries. Of course, we do this with our lobby, and that's why we need our position paper with the relevant stakeholders, like WorldSkills Europe, like Erasmus+, the EU organization there to promote these jobs. With SIMA, the organization for a manufacturer of agricultural equipment, and CC, so the manufacturers for construction equipment. These are the people that we are working with together and to see how to grow this image of our profession. Inside, and I will not say too much because the presentations of the national our members are about this, but we are trying to promote that the initiatives that are done on a national level, like for example in Germany, Starke Typen, France, ASDM, in the UK, LTA, Belgium, AgroJobs, and in the Netherlands, TIM. These initiatives to promote our jobs, we are working there together inside Climmar to have them on the same level, to have the same objectives, so that it can be exchanged between the different countries and that we can expand these initiatives also to other countries. So for there, as Climmar, we are working on the future. And I hope you will enjoy the other presentations, and I hope you will hear a lot of us from us in the future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Erik. I think you made a nice teasing for your colleagues. Now it will be their turn to explain. So at first, Gerrit Westers, can you come to speak to us about what are the subjects in the Netherlands? Gerrit.
Okay, good morning. To give you an idea of the situation of employment and in our branch, how we in the Netherlands are organized on education of the AG mechanization, I will do a short presentation. As you see, my name is Gerrit Westers, employed at Aeres in the Netherlands. And Aeres is a partner of the FEDECOM. And Aeres is the knowledge center for education and training in the agricultural mechanization. This presentation is on behalf of the Dutch delegation FEDECOM. The branch, FEDECOM, the branch association for the ag engineering, livestock technology, vegetable technology, and horticulture technology, and also for the industry and the internal transport. FEDECOM works with and for manufacturers, importers, and dealers with a common goal, a strong and recognizable branch. How does the Dutch market look like at this moment? The turnover in this sector is 5.5 billion euros. There are 16,000 employees, and these employees work for a total of 935 organizations. And 70% of the employees have the function mechanic. Also, you see the size, the composition and size of the organizations. And you will see that there are 35% of these companies have 1 till 5 employees, 43% 6 till 15, 17 16 till 35, and only 5% have 35 employees or more. The power of the big companies is especially the smaller companies, for till 15 employees, will have to adjust their earning model. Because the trend is that customers no longer buy tractor on emotion and relationship with the company, but buy a tractor to realize production. Larger mechanization companies that offer full services can offer a broader and total package. Also often have these companies specialists on every discipline. The larger organizations also have better resources to invest and also invest in craftsmanship. These changes and this change market approach also requires a different approach in education, training and support from all stakeholders as we are. Some other facts. The average age in this branch in the Netherlands is 38. Compared to other companies, comparable branches, there are 3 to 6 years difference, they are younger. Relatively many young people work in the branch as a technician. So as you can see, 25% is younger than 25. Many older employees become increasingly difficult to keep and to keep up the knowledge and the new technology. A lot of companies use older professionals only on older machines and the younger professionals on the young machines. This is in itself the logical choice, but it does hinder the development and in both of these groups. Another thing, what is very worrying, is that there are a lot of outflow in the age category 35 to 45. In this age category, a lot of knowledge is present and therefore disappears from out of the branch. Arguments for this group, what they put forward is heavy physical work, the workload, working hours, not having part-time jobs available, and not having career opportunities. To prevent these outflows in this group of employees is essential in the coming period. Much has already been invested in them, and they are the experts or the managers of tomorrow. Research shows us that there are currently more than 1,000 vacancies in the ag technical sector. These are mainly vacancies for mechanics. Every year, 300 new students join the various ag technical courses. And take into account that young people choose less and less for technical training, and the population is also aging fast. And this, together with a high outflow in the age category 35-45, as previously mentioned, indicates how big the problem is in our sector. In this picture, a forecast for the coming years for the students in the technical and vocational schools. The number of students will decrease in the near future. The number of students is expected to fall by 21% in the coming years. The decline is strongest in the profession-oriented learning path. Also, the strong decline is caused by the demographic decline and because pupils are following, the students are following the higher and general education and not the profession-oriented. In the ag mechanization sector, almost all people who were born and raised in the countryside, they bond and relation with the ag machinery is large. And often that is why they choose for this ag mechanization. For the younger generation of the rural areas, it's no longer a logical choice to go into the ag technology. The younger generation has different dreams and ambitions, mostly outside the ag business. And this requires a new approach to the inflow in this sector. That's why in Holland they started the campaign Lifetime Learning, and VEDECOM, together with all other technical branch associations, started several campaigns together. Annually, 48 million is made available by the government, and the goal of these campaigns is to create a strong identity as a branch and to clean up the image. For example, the branch is not known to people who are not specially charged with the ag mechanization. And the public the general public underestimates the branch in the field of technology and innovation, and in the field of specialization and craftsmanship, but also the role of the branch for the total business and the export for the Netherlands. And a little work is done with horizontal intake employees. In view of the changing craftsmanships, employees from other branches come into the picture as suitable candidates for the mechanization companies. Thanks to the advent of smart farming and GPS technologies, knowledge of ICT and electronics is now required. In the coming years, therefore, attention will be strongly focused on experienced employees from other sectors who are of added value to the ag mechanization. To give an idea of the Dutch education system, here is a picture of our system. And for the ag mechanization companies, almost all employees are educated in the technical and vocational schools. We formally share the level of education in 4 levels, with level 1 is being assigned to only practical education. And there are three levels at the technical and vocational schools for which students can be educated. And level 2 will be trained for mechanic, level 3 will be trained for all-round mechanic, and level 4 is diagnosis technician. Because of the knowledge level of the customer is also growing, many mechanization companies mainly focus on students at level 4 and already also on level 5, the associate degree. But in addition, there is still needed employees who can change oil and change tires. The landscape of training in the Netherlands with regard to the ag mechanization is as follows. There are various regional training centers in the regions. We call them ROCs, so as you can see in the picture. And there is one center of expertise, Aeres, which is really the center of knowledge and training. At the various ROCs, the students are mainly educated at level 2 and 3, mechanic and all-round mechanic. These courses are general technical courses, not brand-bounded. At Aeres, students are trained at level 3 and 4, but there is really trained on the brand. Also, at Aeres, the brand-specific product training program are given. On these trainings, almost all mechanics of the ag mechanization companies come for refresher training or training on new techniques or new machines. And in the recent years, more and more training programs for business support have also been given. For example, workshop performance, training program workshop manager, parts manager, and an integral program of after-sales trainings. A central knowledge center in the Netherlands has a number of characters. Highly qualified trainings and training center, highly qualified trainers at the training center, a unique didactic concept, learning by doing, so what you learn today you can do tomorrow, and a partner with all leading brands for a very close relationship of trust regarding training for these brands. Technicians at Aeres are really trained on a brand in combination with working and learning. For example, the students go to school for 1 week and then work at the company for 5 weeks at their mechanization company. Training in the ag mechanization is partly subsidized by the government. However, the training programs, training centers and companies must meet a number of requirements. Government subsidies are managed centrally by an independent consultancy, but the vast majority of the training courses are paid by the private companies themselves. The mechanization sector is very aware that education and training is very important to survive with their company. VEDECAM, in cooperation with the ROC's and Aeres, the ROC's, the Regional Education Centers, have started a TIM platform. And TIM stands for Talent, Innovation, Mechanization, or also Technology, Infra, Mobility. And the main goal is resist the decreasing inflow of students in the technical education, and at the same time stimulate the increasing innovations in the sector. TIM stands for cooperation with the partners, focus on their core activities and amplify each other. Due to the increasing internalization, scale up and digitalization in the sector, the training of tomorrow has to be better attuned. TIM means working together on new talent of tomorrow by delivering qualitative education that fits the demand. And TIM has also the ambition to be the knowledge platform of the Netherlands and an example for Europe for mechanization, technology and innovation. TIM is also the national platform for uniform learning material and learning resources. And what TIM stands for is tried to capture in a film. That's why I invite you to watch this movie. Thank you.
Thank you, Erik. Thank you. It's a very dark things that you present us. I'm very sad now because it's very, very complicated. You're looking for 1,000 people. Yeah. Case, can you speak to us a little bit what's happened in UK? I don't want to speak about Brexit now. It's not the thematic of today. But if you can say us what's happened in the mechanization sectors. Please come here.
On this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Keith Christian. I'm the director of the British Agricultural and Garden Machinery Association in the UK. Bagma, as we call it, has been in existence since 1917, so we're in our 102nd year. We have in our offices all our archives from the meetings that have taken place over the last 100 years. And when the organisation was first put together in 1917 in London during the end of the First World War, one of the big subjects discussed at the very first meeting was training and education. And in the 100 years since, most of the minutes and the meetings have addressed training and education. And today we still find ourselves in a situation where we cannot get enough people into our industry, technicians. So I'm just going to go through some simple points. There will be some repetition from what we've already heard, because the problems for getting technicians into our industry are the same for all the countries. It's not just Europe, it's a global problem, and we find that there are companies and governments, Canada, Australia, that are coming to the UK and probably other European countries to actually find technicians to take them back to their countries because they cannot grow their own technicians quick enough. So we are faced with a number of problems. Just some very quick industry facts for the UK. Bagma have 600 members in the UK, roughly 400 from the agricultural machinery section and 200 or so from the garden machinery and outdoor power equipment section. Our members represent over 1.3 billion euros of UK sales just in the machinery sector. And overall, the estimate for the business in Britain for the agricultural machinery and garden machinery sectors is 4.5 billion euros. We have 1,200 agricultural machinery dealers. That's an estimate. These are dealers that have brands and sell whole goods, not just doing repairs and maintenance. Of the 1,200 machinery dealers, agricultural machinery dealers, 700 of them have a main brand franchise. So that's covering 15 of the main tractor brands in the UK. And roughly there's about 1,800 dedicated garden machinery dealers. We estimate in the UK that there's over 25,000 employees in our industries, 25 to 30,000. And some of the research we've done would show that nearly 50% of the staff in dealerships in the UK are involved in the technical side of the business. So this sort of helps to put in perspective the situation with finding new technicians. We have a very similar situation to Holland, or the Netherlands, I should say, with apprenticeships. We have about 350 people coming into apprenticeships in the UK at level 2 and 3, and we are probably in a similar number of people that we're looking for per year of around 1,000. So in the UK, for many years now, we've run a group, an education group, that focuses on recruitment, retention and development with the industry, mainly targeted at technicians. And I'm going to talk through some of the issues, some you've already heard, very simple bullet points, but just to emphasize the problems we have. So recruit, retain and develop is our mantra in the UK and has been for a number of years. Just going through understanding the challenges for recruitment, which you've already heard some of this. Traditionally, technicians have come from a farming background. They've grown into the industry, they've moved on, they've wanted to get involved in the technical side and then moving on to sales. And we were talking to a guy last night from Ireland who grew up in the farming business, and he's moved around the world in various things, and he's on one of the stands today, 30 years old. Very interesting career path that he's had, and a very good case study for the industry. So populations, as you've heard, are migrating to more urban living, so they're moving out of the countryside, so there's less people that are interested in a career in agricultural machinery. The number of people in the countryside is decreasing, so our pool of potentials for technicians is actually reducing quite a lot. And one of the biggest problems we have, and certainly we see in the UK, is that the visibility and awareness of what we call the land-based engineering sector is very low. So in some of the research we've done through some of the universities and colleges, young people don't know how to identify with our industry. They don't know what to look for, they don't know where to go on the internet, and we're trying to address that, but it's very difficult to actually come up with a solution that will attract people. So one of our messages is that we call the industry in the UK the land-based engineering industry, and we're hoping that other people would adopt that so that we can go to one place rather than people looking for tractors or lawnmowers or agriculture. We know it's a problem from the research we've done. Career paths in the industry are not very clear. We heard that earlier. There's a lack of incentive to encourage professional development. It's just accepted that these guys will come into the industry, they'll work through their various dealerships, but actually bringing them on and keeping them in the industry is one of the bigger issues that we have. And again, in the UK, over the next 5 years, the engineering industries in the UK, so people like British Aerospace, Land Rover, Jaguar and that, are looking for something like 200,000 skilled engineers. And as an industry, we have to compete with that. And one of our problems is that we're not competing on the same level. We need the technicians to have a higher level of training in most cases, but we're not paying them enough money for that, and we're not giving them enough opportunity. So competition with other industries is very strong. And we don't, certainly in the UK at the moment, promote careers in land-based engineering from an early school age. You know, again, research that's been done, and particularly in America, would suggest that if you want to influence a young person in their career, you need to be giving them information at the age of 8 and upwards. By the time they get to 16, when they have to make decisions about where they take their education, it's nearly too late to influence their career. So they're things that we're looking at. What can we do? Increase the awareness and perception of the land-based engineering sector. We need to get messages out there, and we need to get messages across the whole of Europe, the same messages in every country in different languages, and get the visibility across all the countries and work together. We all have a common problem. We all have similar types of training, but we can't get that message over well enough. And it needs to be a completely European thing, despite Brexit. We need to promote careers in land-based engineering as an alternative to other industries. So we need to be more informative. We need to make the industry exciting, We need to show people how innovative it is, challenging and interesting. Again, one of the problems we faced is people's perception of the industry is going out on a cold winter's morning to work on a tractor that's covered in muck and everything else. But we know that's not the case. The innovation, the technology in the agricultural machinery industry is massive. In the UK recently, they're talking about driverless cars again. But Massey Ferguson had a driverless tractor working in Coventry in 1985. You told me that, didn't you, Joost? Yeah. So that sort of technology in our industry is way beyond a lot of other industries. And we need to get that message over to young people that it is an exciting industry. It isn't all about getting dirty and muddy and being out on a cold day. And the future with autonomous machines and precision farming and everything is so important. These people that can come into the industry don't generally understand how far advanced it is. We need to work on an industry-wide campaign within Europe for recruitment, ensure that training programs are of a high standard. In the UK over the last few years, our apprentice programs have been changed, and we as an industry have had a lot of input into the standard of training and the assessment processes for apprenticeships. And we've done that through our industry training group. And coming back to schools, we would like to run campaigns through schools to influence young people. Unfortunately, in the UK, we have 4 countries. They all do their own thing. So whilst I work in England on training and education, the Scottish programs are different, the Welsh programs are different, and the way the schools are run and careers people within the schools are quite different in each country. So for us in the UK, that is an issue. And again, if we could have one name for the industry so that it can be easily identified, and we use land-based engineering, we're getting there with it, and it is being used more commonly now. And we need to develop literature, promotional campaigns, material with the same theme for all countries. We all do something different. We have a careers brochure in the UK, but we're developing that further. I know in Germany they have a big campaign, but I'm sure Ulrich could tell you about that. And so some of the problems are finding funding for these campaigns. So far, everything we do in the UK is funded, self-funded by the industry itself with no government help at all, which is a big issue for us. And making careers in the sector more attractive with better pay and better conditions. Unfortunately, we have a situation where a farmer with a Range Rover, Land Rover, big vehicle, would be prepared to pay an hourly rate to have the vehicle repaired up to 100, 120 euros an hour, whereas when it comes to having his 200,000 euro John Deere tractor repaired, he'd be arguing if it's more than 50 euros an hour, which is a crazy situation. But unless the industry can actually charge more for its services, we're not going to be able to pay the technicians more. And consequently, some of the technicians will move to other industries to get better incomes. Retention. We know from research we've done in the UK, the cost of losing a trained technician is very high. He might have had 4 years of basic training, a couple of years of brand training. He'd be a very competent person. But if they go to another industry, the cost of replacing them is huge. So actually keeping them within the industry is probably the best thing we can do, and try and prevent them from going elsewhere. Better incentives are needed with paying conditions to retain people. We are in the UK trying to map career opportunities and show progression for technicians if they want to progress through businesses. You know, it's not always that a really good technician can make a good manager, but there should be opportunities within the industry for them if they want to progress. And we need dealers and manufacturers to work closer together to keep people in the industry. My experiences in the UK are that the manufacturers do a really good job of training people, but there is still a conflict between the dealer and the manufacturer in terms of how people are trained and where they come from. We need to recognise the achievements of individuals through accreditation schemes. We have a land-based training accreditation in the UK, and it really is just mapping people's achievements, giving them a career path to follow, and a scheme whereby they can move from a level 2, a level 3, to a master technician at a level 4. So they carry a card, they have a passport for industry. It's a good scheme, it's slow progress, but it does have some value. And for everybody, we need to provide ongoing training updates. And development, professional development through all ages is important, from a young age up to the older age. We had a mention of average ages in the industry. In the UK at the moment, the average age of a technician is 55. So in the next 5 years, 10 years, we're going to have a real problem trying to replace these older guys. Keeping technicians and staff up to date with technology. Not so difficult within the dealership with the manufacturers helping, but what we found is it's actually very difficult to keep lecturers in colleges who provide the training up to date with technology. So some of the manufacturers provide some training for lecturers, but it is very difficult to bring the lecturers up to speed when the industry is moving forward so quickly with technical advances. Recognising achievement through reward schemes. It just seems to be accepted that somebody can go out and fix a combine harvester on a Sunday morning on a wet day, all on their own. And we need to reward that with the guys, not just accept that they'll get paid so much for it, but they need to be incentivized even more. And we need to encourage career progression. We have, with our level 4s, we try and encourage a mentoring process, so we get older people to look after younger people, pass on the skills to them. What do we do in the UK? We have an industry working group called LETEC, the Land-Based Engineering, Training and Education Committee. It's 3 organisations, self-funded, and we look after everything we can within training and education with no help from the government. We develop promotional material that is freely available. We call it the World of Opportunity brochure. I have a few here if you want to take them. They are available on different websites in the UK, but you can pick it up from bagma.com if you want to. We have a website for our industry and for careers in the industry, landbasedengineering.com, with a lot of information on about our accreditation schemes, careers in the industry, where you can go and things like that. Quite comprehensive, but steering people to a website is always a problem. The industry accreditation scheme I've spoken about, and we promote apprenticeships, and we work with government on standards and assessments, and we work with the manufacturers to improve the training offering in the UK. We have training providers, colleges and manufacturers doing training, but we don't have it all together. It's quite separate. And sadly, it's still not enough to encourage people into our industry, and why we're here and what we're talking about is what we need to do. This is the World of Opportunity brochure, careers brochure from our LETEC group. And our industry challenge for the future, to develop tomorrow's technicians at the same speed as the product. And we are lagging behind in that, and that's quite a difficult issue. And in our promotional material, we say land-based engineering is one of the best careers on earth. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Keith, for speaking about us about UK situation. Ulrich BECKSCHULTE, kannst du für uns ein bisschen das auf Englisch sagen, aber can you explain us what's happened in Germany? And stay with us.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ulrich BECKSCHULTE. I'm talking here for German situation. I'm the General Manager for the German Association, and I'm responsible at LandBauTechnik at all for dealers and servicemen, not for the industry and not for the manufacturers. So let's talk about how is employment and training organized in Germany. We have some basic statistics like all the other had. We have estimated 43,000 employees and 8,500 apprentices inside that. And they all are employed in 4,300 companies. And if you have the tendency, the red one is decreasing and the green one is, no, it's increasing, yes, but just a bit. It's not a lot. And if you see, we have all in all 10 employees per company. That means 1.8 apprentices per company, but 2.7 apprentices per company who is a training company. Not all in Germany have that. And all in all, it is more than 16% of the whole staff are apprentices in Germany. That's a very good value. But we have the same problems than we heard some minutes ago, like we have seen in the other countries. Nearly every company is looking for recruitable beginners and trainees, and also it is recruiting, it is looking for staff and already skilled workers. And even if they do not create them themselves, they try to get them from the colleagues in the other countryside, and it's a very strong competition meanwhile in Germany in between the dealers, and also a strong competition with external employees like in other branches at all. But so that leads us to the necessity that every company is looking for tools how to hold and how to bind employees in the future. How can they do that? How can we help them? We created a new, very simple career path, like you see them in the past. It is strong chances, starke Chancen, and it is a training and education career plan. It starts at the grade level with a normal school, so then the pupils are 16 to 18 years old, and it is not necessary to go to the university. We always try to tell them you can also, and even more and even earlier, get money when you take over our career and become a training of 3.5 years, and they got a title that is Geselle in Germany. And this Geselle, I'll come later to that. The next step is the service technician. It is the first step of qualification on top. It is a qualification that needs 500 hours that normally is to be done in 1 year. And the second step of qualification is the master, the title, and it's always again about 500 hours to learn. But all of that is completely brand neutral, and we have it in the first step, the Geselle. It's completely in the companies themselves. Only 20 to 30% of that is in schools, in official schools, where they also get religion and German and so on. But just 70 to 80% is inside the dealer companies where they got to learn. So I talked about the new career plan, the new career ladder. And we also, on the other hand, tried to change a bit what, or make it more concrete what the different steps are and what they are allowed to do them. If you see from the top, the mechanic is the generalist with a broad basic education. And the first step the mechanic is that everyone has to have this title. And he learns for that 3.5 years I told about. The second step, the certified service technician, is free. You do not have to do that, but you should do, because it's the specialist, the technician, leader, and instructor. And here at that level, we create the specialists, for example, for milking equipment service or for digital experts, and also a lot special technician groups, even with brand-specific items. And in the end, the master is again a generalist, a leading senior executive, or in the end, it's possible to become the owner of a company. And even if you are a master, you're allowed in Germany to be owner of a service station. We also, as Keith told us, changed. We had a campaign since 10 years. It's called Starke Typen. Starke Typen is translatable with solid youngsters or tough guys or whatever you told. It's in the language of the youth. And we changed it last year. We made it we created a new optic, and we especially try to get a wider orientation. We just now are not only focused on young guys and their parents and teachers, we are also focused on universities and so on, the whole branch, where we can get the staff from. And we completely get it financed for free. It is completely self-founded. We get no subsidies from government at all. Just we want the politicians being door opener and taking over patroning on our campaign. So we have one minister of economy is our patron for this in the next Agritechnica show. But these are the partners that we could persuade to help us, to support us. We have premium partners, that is the most important ones. They pay a bit more, and we have other partners, and if you have a look at it, there is quite no one missing. What we do, what we are focused on, it is have a look on that more than 50% of the youngsters regularly use social media to get information about branch jobs and career. It is like it is. We didn't mention that in the past. We knew about that, but we didn't realize how social media is an important thing because we didn't have the capacities to do so. But the last point is important. Conversations with parents are the most important criteria when choosing a career, followed by friends and acquaintances. That is our task in the future. Pick up young people, where are they to find? Online, that means online. And inform and inspire parents and teachers, that means on and offline. So in the past we were a bit online and most of the times offline. We want to change that in the future. And we want to change that also in new ideas. We want to try to persuade to get our members. How can I say? It's not only the money that should talk about. We have also to realize that technical items could be interesting. In Germany, the first dealers give not only money for the first year apprentice, they also give a car, for example, or a mobile, or whatever. It's in the future, we expect a lot more of them. We need to think about lifetime work balance. We need to think about more flexibility for the employees in holidays, in free time, and we need models of working periods in the future. We need also ideas how to manage familiar integration. The wife, the complete family, the youngsters should be integrated. And normally that should be in the future an important thing to talk about. And that's what we are trying to start with it. We want to build up our website starke-typen.info. It is just in German. You can have a look. It is the basic for all our actions in it. And there we want to regularly and actively fulfill social media channels on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It starts in May this year because we got a new staff. We got a new expert who's responsible just for social media activities in our association, in our campaign. We want to create offers for our members and even multiplicating institutions, even offline. Information stands on fairs that we didn't do in the past. We want to do that not only for dealers, but also for groups of dealers, for partners, to be present on every regional fair where the youngsters could go to. We are, as German Association responsible for all Germany, we are present at Workshop Live 2019 on Agritechnica show. You're all invited to have a look at Hall 2. And we are targeted approach of schools and career counselors, what we didn't do in the past. So that's what we want, and that's what we are able to do in the future. And as I told you, maybe if you stand here in another 2 years, we can have a look whether it did run or if it did not. So we need to bring our profession, that's our target, much more into the focus of the public. That's what my speakers before told is similar to that. To motivate and excite players and target groups, we have to tell them that ag machinery and all other parts of our branch, it's that sexy, and that's what we have to bring over. Thank you.
Thank you, Erik, for this feedback on Germany. One more country before France. Werner Berger, can you join us? It will be your turn to speak about the employment situation by dealership in Switzerland.
Bonjour aussi de ma part. Good morning also from my side. I represent the Swiss agricultural machinery dealers as member of the executive committee of Agrotech Suisse. Switzerland is a small country well known for the mountains as well as the chocolate. There are also some farmers in Switzerland, 50,000 of them, working on about 20 hectares in average, 20 hectares of land. And there is also an ag machinery sector counting about 1,150 companies with a little bit more than 7,000 employees and 1,300 apprentices. The turnover is 1.8 billion euro. The market, I took some examples, tractors 2,600 or 4,000 green harvest machinery. These figures show how Switzerland is a Greenland-focused country, in particular in milk production. For example, for the production of chocolate then. Switzerland has rather liberal labor laws. Since more than 10 years, a very low employment rate. It is difficult to find qualified labor in all branches. So nothing new, the same problem as we heard by the speakers before me. But I think there is one solution I want to present now is the professional education. I've been asked to present as best practice, so please allow me to briefly show how the success story of the Swiss professional education goes on. The Swiss form of apprenticeship is the root of the matter. there are three players who have their roles. First of all, the Confederation. The Confederation decides the strategic management and development. Then there are the professional organizations, for example, Agrotech Suisse, who is responsible for the training content and the apprenticeship. And then the cantons assure the implementation and the supervision of all that. Young people in Switzerland have the choice. There are many possibilities for the transition to the secondary level. So the general education, professional maturity, initial training with federal certification, and so on. But, and this is important, they make a choice at the age of 14. They choose which way they want to go. And then, after having made their choice and sent their first application, they live a new situation. The situation of selection. Everybody would have one of the best apprenticeship places. They are now evolving in the economic world of adults and discover the competition that reigns there. The negative answer disappoint them. The pressure is increasing. The more the search for an apprenticeship lasts, the more the chances of finding a vacant place diminish. Now it is the company who makes his choice. And for that, for a good choice for both, the trial apprenticeship has become the ideal process. The aim is that the participant informs himself about the profession. The duration can be different, but we recommend that it should not be less than 1 week. It should be done under a friendly, interesting atmosphere. The trainer has to be available, so you have to anticipate to organize that. And then the program is essential to give a realistic image of the profession, to not disappoint the apprentice once he starts, to avoid also to be too ambitious. Then the mentoring by the person responsible for the training in the company or in smaller company by the trainer himself. And they have to write down what they do during the week. They have to reflect what they are doing, and at the end we recommend to do a final interview if needed with the parents. For a company, from an apprentice, it is always better to also know the parents of the kid starting the professional career. And maybe one point for that process, the trial apprenticeship, we do not need national education reforms. This is a thing which can be done without a big law there behind. It's easy to do, but it's very important. In our branch, the vocational training occurs on 3 different places. The most important place is the training company. It's quite similar than in Germany. We have young people working about 70–80% in the company, and the rest they are going to the vocational school. It depends which program they run. That can be 1 or 2 days a week. And the third place to be is the intercompany course center, with the possibility to get specialized skills. This is that center, Agrotech Swiss Center, Education Center, since 50 years. runs that center where, among other things, the intercompany courses take place. So we invested the last 2 years more than 10 million euro in the making bigger of that center in Aarberg. And companies which want to become a training company have to meet a catalog of criteria. Also, the trainers need to be certified. We have created a list of 10 good reasons why a company should do it, so you can read them on the picture here. And to be a training company nowadays is considered as a quality label for firms. I want to make an example of Maxime. Shows how far the career of an apprentice with determination can go. Maxime started when he had 14 years with a trial apprenticeship as a mechanic in agricultural machinery. Then he decided he made the choice to do the apprenticeship as a mechanic in agricultural machinery. He did that in one of the companies for years and finished with the Federal Certificate of Capability and, in addition, a professional maturity. After that, he gathered professional experience 4 years long. Then he continued vocational training as techno-diagnostic in agricultural machinery and finished with an advanced federal diploma. Then once again he gathered professional experience. And at the age not far from 30 years old, he continued vocational training and obtained at the end the certificate, the master's certificate with advanced federal diploma. Professionals like Maxime today belong to the most wanted people in our market, and they are, I'm sure, better paid than a lot of people run the university education run. Why does young people like Maxime make the choice for an apprenticeship? There may be several reasons. Events like the Swiss Skills, which took place from the 12th to the 16th of September last year in Bern, support a positive image of apprenticeship. Those central Swiss professional championships have been promoted and supported by the Swiss government. In the profession of agricultural machinery mechanics, 16 candidates had solved their tasks and were evaluated by the experts. The winner has now the opportunity to attend World Skills in this year in Kazan, Russia. More than 120,000 visitors and the presentation on TV by the national channels in the different languages made the second edition of that event a success story, and will be rerun in 2 years. If we compare the importance of apprenticeship on the international level, we can see the difference. In our branch, nearly 1 of 5 employees in a company is an apprentice. On the world skills, Switzerland always belongs to the countries ahead, especially in our branch as well. We are the current world champion as well as the current European champion are Swiss mechanics. So my conclusion is that for having well-trained staff in the future, hardly surprising, nothing new, we must invest more in the professional education and its promotion. Thank you for your attention.
Merci Werner. Now we are in France, we are in Paris. It would be Anne-Fradier turn to speak about the employment situation by dealership in France.
Bonjour à tous, donc je suis Anne Fradier, secrétaire générale du SEDIMA. Et après la langue de Shakespeare, on va utiliser la langue de Molière puisqu'on est en France. Donc, donc je vais vous parler de la formation, de l'emploi et de la formation en France, en essayant de faire simple parce qu'en France c'est un peu compliqué le système, donc on va essayer de le faire assez simplement. Donc au niveau des chiffres de ce que représente la distribution, en France, on a 35 000 employés, mais il faut savoir qu'on a également une autre organisation professionnelle qui représente les artisans ruraux et qui représente à peu près 10 000 salariés, ce qui fait qu'en gros, on peut dire que le machiniste représente 45 000 salariés en termes d'emploi dans le commercial et le service. Donc pour 2700 entreprises, un chiffre d'affaires global de entre 10 et 11 milliards selon les années, et les adhérents du SEDIMA représentent 70% du chiffre d'affaires de la profession. Comme dans les autres pays, le service atelier représente plus de 56% des effectifs des concessions. Ensuite, on a à peu près à part égale le magasin, le commercial et le service administratif. Donc, vous pouvez voir les chiffres sur les slides, donc autour de entre 5 et 6 000 personnes et surtout 20 000 personnes au service technique. Alors, qui est responsable de la formation en France? Plusieurs acteurs. On a d'un côté un acteur qui est extrêmement important en France, qui est l'éducation nationale. Et l'éducation nationale, je dirais, définit les formations et le fait en lien avec la profession, donc avec le SEDIMA au niveau de l'écriture des référentiels et de leurs évolutions. À côté, et on peut dire que là, c'est essentiellement la formation première qui est confiée à l'éducation nationale. Ensuite, on a le ministère du Travail qui crée aussi des titres professionnels et ça s'adresse essentiellement aux demandeurs d'emploi qui veulent se reconvertir ou, je dirais, s'engager dans la profession. Et là, on touche à une autre catégorie de personnes. Et il y a la profession elle-même, le SEDIMA, à travers la convention collective qui, aujourd'hui, depuis 1990, peut aussi créer de la formation à travers les certificats de qualification professionnelle. Donc, 3 acteurs avec un acteur majeur pour notre filière de formation, l'éducation nationale. Alors, on a en France beaucoup de centres de formation. Vous voyez, on a 102 établissements de formation. Vous les avez sur la carte. Ces 102 établissements de formation, essentiellement concentrés sur l'Ouest. On voit qu'il y a un petit peu de zones un peu plus clairsemées dans l'Est de la France. Et le taux d'apprentissage, donc ces 102 écoles sortent chaque année à peu près 2008, 3000 jeunes sortent des centres de formation que vous voyez là. Sur ces 3000 jeunes qui sortent chaque année, 10%, du moins à peu près 1000 ont été formés par le biais de l'apprentissage. Donc c'est vrai que par rapport à nos amis suisses, on a un décalage important entre la formation première et la formation en alternance. Mais il faut savoir que dans les formations éducation nationale, il y a à peu près aussi 3 mois de formation en alternance en entreprise aussi. La part des jeunes formés en espace vert représente 21%, c'est quand même important. On est en France actuellement dans une grande réforme de la formation professionnelle qui vise à augmenter le nombre d'apprentis dans les entreprises et à confier plus de poids à la branche professionnelle dans le pilotage de la formation professionnelle. Donc ça va changer, je pense, dans les années à venir. Alors, comment est organisée notre filière de formation? On a également, nous, 4 étapes dans la formation professionnelle, avec une première étape qui démarre au CAP, donc dans notre filière de formation. On a 2 CAP, un spécialisé en machinisme agricole et l'autre en espace vert. Et il sort chaque année à peu près 1700 jeunes avec le diplôme qu'on appelle le CAP, donc qui est le premier niveau de mécanicien. Ensuite, nous avons, les jeunes peuvent poursuivre sur un bac professionnel. Donc, ce bac professionnel se fait en 2 ans. Et il y a à peu près 900 jeunes qui sortent chaque année avec ce bac maintenance et matériel agricole et aussi en option espace vert. Après donc ce deuxième niveau, les jeunes peuvent aller vers un troisième niveau qui est le BTS, donc une spécialité de technicien, donc avec des compétences un peu plus larges, plus pointues. Et chaque année, il en sort 200 qui sont formés au niveau du BTS. Et nous avons ensuite un quatrième niveau qui est la licence professionnelle dans plusieurs domaines, dans le management, et aussi dans tout ce qui est commercial. Et là, il y a à peu près 60 jeunes qui sortent avec la formation de licence. Mais dans les années 90, il y a eu un élément important, c'est que le gouvernement a confié la possibilité aux branches professionnelles de créer des référentiels de formation sur des domaines beaucoup plus pointus qu'elles ne pouvaient pas, elles, former en direct. Donc, on a pu créer des certificats de qualification professionnelle. C'est ce que vous voyez à droite et ça donne la possibilité, je dirais, de poursuivre la formation et de faire des techniciens experts sur notre domaine de formation, donc en agriculture, tout ce qui est technicien, mais aussi sur le matériel de traite et aussi sur le service pièces et le service magasin commercial. À côté de la formation de base qui est par l'éducation nationale, on a également beaucoup d'heures de formation en formation continue pour les salariés qui passent par les centres de formation des constructeurs. Et nos salariés aujourd'hui, dans notre profession, suivent à peu près, on a financé via donc les fonds de la formation professionnelle 270 000 heures de formation continue pour la vente et pour le technique. Donc la formation, elle ne s'arrête pas à l'éducation nationale, mais je dirais elle dure toute la vie du salarié aujourd'hui. Alors, le problème du recrutement, comme mes amis européens, c'est la première préoccupation des chefs d'entreprise, c'est ce qui ressort dans toutes les réunions, c'est le problème du recrutement. Pourquoi ? Parce que on a affaire aussi au départ à la retraite des plus anciens qu'il faut remplacer. On a des évolutions technologiques importantes qui créent de nouveaux besoins de compétences. On a également quelque chose de nouveau qu'on ne connaissait pas beaucoup dans nos professions, c'est une augmentation du turnover. Avant, un salarié arrivait dans une entreprise et il faisait toute sa carrière professionnelle. Aujourd'hui, on sait que les jeunes restent beaucoup moins longtemps. Donc, ça accélère le besoin de recrutement. Et surtout, comme dans les autres pays, on a beaucoup moins de salariés qui habitent à la campagne et donc il faut aussi s'ouvrir pour trouver du personnel en dehors de la campagne. Et puis il y a un phénomène que je n'ai pas mis là, mais c'est qu'aujourd'hui l'activité économique va bien en France et que tout le monde recrute et que les personnes qui sont formées avec nos formations peuvent travailler dans de nombreux secteurs économiques et trouver facilement du travail. Donc, quand on voit le nombre de jeunes qui sont formés, le nombre d'établissements que l'on a en France, on peut se dire, mais où est le problème, puisqu'on a vraiment tout ce qu'il faut pour bien former. Alors, la question qu'on s'est posée avec les élus et les groupes qui travaillent sur ces questions au SEDIMA, c'est de regarder si l'offre de formation correspondait aux besoins des entreprises. Alors, pour ça, on a réalisé une enquête pour bien identifier nos besoins, pour aussi promouvoir nos établissements, nos formations et surtout de s'interroger sur savoir comment donc toucher les jeunes pour les faire venir dans nos filières de formation. Alors, on a conduit cette enquête sur 2017 et 2018. On a fait un inventaire. On va redéfinir les besoins et voir où ils se situent du point de vue géographique, parce qu'on s'aperçoit que le besoin de recrutement ou la difficulté de recrutement n'est pas la même d'une région à une autre. Et aussi mesurer le degré de satisfaction des concessionnaires par rapport à leur établissement de formation. Parce qu'effectivement, on a beaucoup d'établissements, mais est-ce qu'ils sont tous d'égal niveau? Est-ce qu'ils correspondent aux besoins attendus des distributeurs? Et l'autre ambition donc du bureau, c'est de définir une politique de formation qui ne soit pas que nationale, mais aussi régionale pour, je dirais, investir tout le monde dans cette problématique très importante et construire donc une stratégie pour arriver, je dirais, à faire évoluer les choses positivement. Alors, l'enquête qu'on a faite, donc on a demandé aux concessionnaires de se projeter sur leurs besoins à 5 ans. Et le résultat, donc on leur a demandé de se projeter sur les besoins à 5 ans, donc ça n'inclut pas, je dirais, le turnover. Donc les chiffres sont plutôt minimisés que surévalués. On a aujourd'hui donc un besoin de recrutement de 6200 personnes à l'atelier, 1700 au magasin et 1700 au commercial. On n'a pas mis les besoins à l'administratif parce que là, c'est quand même beaucoup plus facile en termes de recrutement. Une fois qu'on a eu ces chiffres, donc vous avez les données par région, on a essayé de regarder quel était le niveau qui était attendu des concessionnaires. Alors on voit, vous voyez que on forme au premier degré, donc sur le premier niveau de formation, à peu près 1700 jeunes. Et le besoin des concessionnaires qu'on a comptabilisé n'est que de 40. Donc aujourd'hui, on forme 1700 jeunes de premier niveau, mais le besoin des concessionnaires n'est que de 40. Donc ça veut dire qu'on a 1600 jeunes formés aujourd'hui qui ne correspondent pas au niveau attendu. Alors si ces jeunes ont la capacité d'évoluer sur le niveau du bac pro, c'est très bien, mais aujourd'hui on s'aperçoit que très peu de jeunes de CAP ont la capacité d'aller sur le niveau du bac professionnel. Donc au niveau du bac professionnel, on en forme 888. Le besoin est de à peu près 500. Donc là, on a un différentiel qui est plutôt, qui peut apparaître positif. Et ensuite, là où le bas blesse, c'est sur les BTS, puisque là, le niveau, je dirais, supérieur du technicien expert est de 196, à peu près 200 qui forment chaque année, alors que le besoin des concessionnaires est de près de 900. Vous voyez là le décalage entre le besoin de compétences qui s'explique par le fait que les technologies évoluent. Donc l'enseignement de l'enquête, c'est qu'on a franchement un décalage entre ce qui a été formé et le besoin de la profession. Alors le challenge de notre profession, c'est de construire effectivement une politique de formation qui corresponde aux attentes des concessionnaires, et sachant qu'on doit faire tout ça avec des budgets formation qui vont en diminuant. On sait que l'État est endetté et que l'investissement dans la formation ne va pas aller en augmentant. Donc il va falloir qu'on rationalise et qu'on ait une politique plus affinée sur nos besoins en formation. Donc cette politique de formation, elle ne va pas se faire tout seul. Il faut qu'on travaille, je dirais, avec les entreprises, les constructeurs, les centres de formation, les institutions de formation pour essayer donc de créer quelque chose qui réponde, je dirais, aux besoins et qu'on dépense, je dirais, cet argent-là à bon escient. Alors, autre interrogation qu'on a eue, c'est l'image du secteur, parce qu'effectivement, travailler dans le machinisme agricole, ça a été longtemps considéré comme pas tellement attractif, et on a essayé, et là on l'a fait avec les partenaires sociaux qui sont investis sur l'objectif de diminuer le taux de chômage en France. Donc en 2016, l'État nous a demandé de nous impliquer un peu plus dans l'emploi. Et avec les partenaires sociaux, on a décidé de créer une campagne de communication plus moderne. Donc on a commencé à pas montrer que des machines, mais je dirais des hommes bien dans leur travail, donc, et des femmes également. On s'est adressé également aux organismes des centres d'orientation, donc on a fait pas mal de démarches auprès d'eux. On a également eu des interviews au niveau de la télé et au niveau de la radio. Ça, c'était en 2016. En 2017, on a essayé de toucher la cible des parents et on a fait beaucoup d'encarts publicitaires et d'articles en s'adressant aux mamans, parce qu'en France, je ne sais pas dans les autres pays, mais en France, c'est beaucoup les mamans qui accompagnent les enfants dans leur, je dirais, dans l'accompagnement de l'orientation scolaire. Donc, on a fait dans des magazines féminins et aussi dans Automoto. On a fait pas mal d'insertions aussi dans digitaux sur les sites internet pour également montrer nos métiers d'une façon positive. Alors pour 2018-2019, ce qu'on est en train de faire, c'est des vidéos qui vont passer sur donc les réseaux sociaux qui sont vraiment destinés aux jeunes de 3e, des jeunes de 14-15 ans, avec un ton humoristique plutôt décalé. Donc je ne peux pas vous les montrer aujourd'hui, mais elles vont sortir fin mars. Et là encore, pour faire bouger, essayer de sortir du monde agricole, mais de s'ouvrir, je dirais, sur l'ensemble du monde, je dirais, des jeunes, pas simplement le monde agricole. On a également fait un kit de communication pour les concessionnaires, pour qu'ils mettent des affiches, pour qu'ils relaient toutes ces campagnes de com dans leur établissement. Ils ont des télés, ils ont des moyens aussi de communiquer. Et on a fait récemment donc une campagne sur RTL avec des spots qui ont parlé aussi de nos métiers pour toucher le grand public. Alors, voilà. Donc, à côté de ces campagnes grand public, on est aussi présent sur de nombreux événements avec, je dirais, le concours général des métiers, les Olympiades des métiers, ce que a dit Ulrich, aussi Erik, on le fait au niveau France. On est présent sur les salons, donc je vous montre brièvement une petite vidéo qu'on a faite sur les Olympiades des métiers, qui a été faite par Cyril, qui est là et qui est en charge de la formation au SEDIMA. Alors, on s'investit sur les Olympiades, les salons, et puis on continue, je dirais, de travailler aussi avec le monde de l'enseignement, l'éducation nationale. On a organisé un grand séminaire au mois de novembre qui a réuni nos 102 établissements de formation que vous avez vus tout à l'heure sur la carte. Et c'est important de maintenir le lien, je dirais, d'échanger entre la profession et les centres de formation, parce qu'on peut se dire quand même qu'on travaille avec des gens qui n'ont qu'une envie de bien former les salariés de demain. Je crois qu'il faut aussi les encourager, et c'est aussi de l'importance de créer ces moments de rencontre. On veut également, là c'est un objectif important, alors attendez, on a également, excusez-moi, fait des petites vidéos que je vais vous présenter, là qui s'adressent à des jeunes de 3e et sans texte, mais pour que ça puisse être repris dans les concessions, sur leur télé et également sur les réseaux sociaux.
Vous connaissez la maintenance des matériels ? À l'ASDM, nous représentons les formations et les métiers de ces secteurs qui recrutent et qui sont malheureusement peu connus du grand public. Ils sont pourtant essentiels au quotidien de chacun. Mais alors, pourquoi sont-ils essentiels ? Eh bien parce que, sans Guillaume, technicien en maintenance des matériels agricoles, vous ne pourriez plus manger vos céréales le matin. Parce que sans Thibaut, mécanicien en maintenance des matériels de construction,
il serait impossible de passer du temps avec votre meilleur ami.
Parce que sans Nicolas, technicien spécialisé en maintenance des matériels de manutention, vous n'auriez plus l'occasion d'aller dévaliser les rayons. Et parce que sans Margot, chef d'atelier spécialisé en maintenance des matériels d'espace vert, il serait plus compliqué d'aller se défouler sur le terrain. Vous faites le lien ? Nos métiers sont essentiels partout et pour tous. Devenez essentiel, trouvez votre voie et formez-vous à la maintenance des matériels. Rendez-vous sur www.maintenancedesmatériels.com.
Alors, mais pour autant, toutes ces actions de communication sur les réseaux, sur les forums, etc., c'est important. Mais dans le cadre justement de ce séminaire et à SDM, on a fait une enquête auprès des jeunes pour leur demander qu'est-ce qui avait motivé leur choix pour venir travailler en concession dans la distribution. Et là, on a été très surpris parce que ce qui arrive en premier, c'est le mini-stage en entreprise, le stage en troisième. C'est-à-dire que le meilleur ambassadeur pour trouver des jeunes, c'est vous, concessionnaires. C'est-à-dire prenez des jeunes dans vos concessions. Et s'ils ont une bonne expérience, eh bien, on voit que finalement, c'est le premier élément qui déclenche l'envie de venir travailler en concession. Ça vient en premier. Après, ce sont les parents. Donc, d'où l'importance, je dirais, d'associer les parents dans le recrutement. Après, c'est les journées portes ouvertes dans les écoles et les rencontres. Et vous voyez que les fiches d'information de l'ONICEP ou tout ce qui est forum des métiers, les sites internet, ça arrive en queue. Donc c'est bien de dépenser beaucoup d'énergie sur ces outils-là, il faut le faire et il ne faut pas le négliger. Mais je dirais que l'enseignement vient qu'aujourd'hui les jeunes, ce qui fait qu'ils sont dans nos filières de formation, c'est déjà des rencontres entre une entreprise et un jeune, d'où l'importance du stage. Alors le challenge du SEDIMA, c'est comme nos amis allemands, c'est d'aller sur le digital. Donc c'est l'objectif de cette année. Et Cyril qui est là et va être, je dirais, la cheville ouvrière de ce dossier. Donc la présence sur les réseaux sociaux qu'on veut de plus en plus importante. Donc voilà pour la présentation de la France et je vous remercie pour votre écoute.
Merci beaucoup Anne. So guys, we're a little bit late in the timing. We should have a roundtable, but I propose to go directly to the question and answer session. If all the people who say something here on the booth can't come back again, sit down, and if there is question in the room, I know this exercise is very difficult, but who will ask the first question? I already have some questions I want to ask them, but perhaps you've got questions, dealers from Valtra, for example, or other dealers, or other people. You've got one question.
Yes, I was just, we've had a problem. I'm Howard Pullen from the UK, Bagma past president. We've had a problem with the colleges not having the right quality of people, and as a result, all the manufacturers are driving the apprenticeships in the UK, and all the colleges are getting left behind. I just wondered how they're overcoming this problem in the other countries where we're seeing so many of these centres that are still doing the training.
Who wants to answer this question?
See if you from what you saw on the different presentations, it is the thing that's difficult in all the countries. It's also what we hear when we ask around with all the Climmar members. It is the problem to get the right apprenticeships and the right people in our industry. I think from the presentation of Werner from Switzerland, I think that was a very good. Let's say example on how to get these people in, to show them. It's also on the presentation of Anne. a very big number of people coming into our business come in because they had the chance to try the profession for once, for a few days. So I think that was the most people coming into France, and that's actually the thing that's been doing in Switzerland. So that's something we can learn from.
Other questions in the room? Yeah.
Hello, my name is Kim Schmidt. I'm from the United States, and a problem we're having there is that vocational programs are getting cut from our schools. So there's actually not a lot of teachers who are qualified to be teaching these types of programs. Is that a challenge you've run into in any of your countries?
What we do with a short of number of trainers is to combine with also experienced mechanics to refresh them and have didactical education, so that the most experienced mechanics can also be a trainer. And there are companies who are working now with certified training programs for the brands, that some kind of brands also have some education and training programs by their own with experienced mechanics who do a couple of hours of training in the company or at schools.
Thanks for the question. Is there some more questions? You will have a microphone coming just there.
So thank you for the presentations. I appreciate it. I work at ACCO, Fendt Massey Ferguson Valtra brand. And how would you say, what would you think that the OEMs could better assist these programs, especially with respect to giving more incentives or more proper content training in the context of digitalization, autonomous tractors? It seems that it's a big problem there, and OEMs should be able to help to some extent.
Est-ce que les constructeurs peuvent vous aider, notamment pour la formation, et notamment la partie digitale de la formation? I'm just translating the question, so in order everybody understood.
I think a very good example of this is what's happening in Germany with Starke Typen, where all the manufacturers, I can say, quite all the manufacturers are directly involved here. And I think that's why it's so important that we get a more uniform platform of this in the Netherlands, because then I think it's more easy and also possible for manufacturers to actively participate in this education and training scheme. And of course, you are already doing it brand specific, but then also to pick them up when they're still young.
Maybe what we could need, what would be very great for us is to have support from the manufacturers in equipment. So if you are building a new professional education center for 10 million euro, it's only a building with walls and a roof, and we have to fulfill it with technique. And if you can provide that for a good price or even for free, that would be a great thing for us as the organizing institution for the education, for the professional education.
Pour nous, en France, ce qu'on souhaiterait, c'est que les constructeurs donnent plus facilement leur outil de diagnostic aux établissements scolaires pour que les jeunes puissent travailler justement sur des technologies à jour et pas simplement sur des anciennes technologies. Et je pense qu'au final, tout le monde sera gagnant.
So many things that the OEM or the manufacturers could do to help the dealerships. Other question in the room? all the questions are on the right, so she's working and not me. So.
Oui, Monsieur David, concessionnaire en France, évidemment, je parle français. Une question pour les Allemands. Est-ce que vous avez intégré une population venant plus de l'Est, soit en personnel détaché ou une intégration de certains Polonais, Roumains? Est-ce que c'est déjà une initiative qui est faite dans votre pays ou pas?
I do not have real statistical data to answer that very specific, but from that what I see and what I knew from the daily contact to the dealerships, the number of
just take the microphone this way.
This way,
yeah,
better. What I see and what I feel from the daily contact to the dealers, it is not a large number of students, of young people coming from the Eastern Europe. It is existing, and maybe my estimation, not only my, it's just my private estimation, not more than 5%.
Pas plus de 5%. Encore une question dans la salle, une petite dernière pour finir. Oui, non? Alors moi j'ai une question. On my side, I've got a question. Just before Pierre Prim will make the conclusion, you've got all the same problems to find people and find skilled people. What are you doing to motivate them? We've got the discussion with Erik some weeks ago. If we present our job saying we are the feet in the mud, the hand in the grease, and it's very hard because manufacturers are always not so fun with us, how to find people if we say this?
Je vais juste faire une petite anecdote. Quand je suis arrivée il y a quelques années au SEDIMA, je suis allée regarder sur les sites d'orientation comment ils présentaient notre métier. Et c'était écrit « Un mécanicien n'a pas de vacances en été, fait beaucoup d'heures, d'accord ? Pas de vacances, beaucoup d'heures. » Et aujourd'hui, si vous allez sur les sites de l'UNICEF ou d'orientation, il y a encore une façon de présenter nos métiers qui est vraiment déplorable et qui ne donne pas du tout envie de venir. Maintenant, c'est très compliqué pour faire bouger cette communication parce que les vieux clichés ont la vie dure et donc il faut vraiment changer la communication, le faire de façon positive. Après, on peut toujours voir le côté négatif des choses, mais quand on s'ouvre à d'autres professions, si vous prenez l'automobile ou d'autres secteurs, ils ont des turnovers de plus de 20-25%. Alors nous, c'est vrai qu'on a des turnovers autour de entre 14 et 17%. On n'est pas rendu à des taux dans d'autres secteurs professionnels. Donc je pense que si on n'a pas de turnover, c'est aussi que les gens se sentent bien dans nos métiers. Et je pense qu'il faut faire savoir que c'est agréable de travailler dans nos entreprises, qu'il y a beaucoup de possibilités d'évolution, de diversité, de contact client. Il y a plein de choses très positives par rapport à d'autres métiers qu'il faut mettre en avant et il faut le faire, je dirais, de façon massive et que ça soit relayé aussi derrière ça. Mais dans les faits, notre profession ne va pas si mal et il y a quand même beaucoup d'indicateurs très positifs dans cette profession.
Anne, thanks a lot.
Je peux ajouter quelque chose?
Vas-y.
Alors moi je pense qu'on n'a pas besoin d'inventer quoi que ce soit parce que la profession, elle est assez importante et assez intéressante. La chose ce que nous devons faire, c'est le montrer. Donc ouvrir les portes, faire venir les gens dedans, non seulement les enfants, mais aussi les parents et aussi les enseignants. Parce que l'influence d'un enfant se fait par les parents et par les enseignants. Donc on doit montrer tout simplement qui c'est qu'on est, ce qu'on fait. On nourrit quand même le monde avec nos machines. Il y a même du sens là derrière et en plus ça fait du plaisir. Je pense que c'est la seule chose qu'on a besoin de faire. Mais ça par contre c'est pas si facile Donc, on doit commencer demain matin à le faire.
Werner Berger, merci. And as a conclusion, I will invite Pierre Prim to make the conclusion of this debate, but I don't know if it really will be a conclusion, because as somebody from Bagma says, we speak about it since 100 years now.
Yeah, always a big issue there. It's hard to make a conclusion. The whole question is that this concern is the same all over Europe. Every country faces the same thing. I guess by your question that it's not always not only a European question, and in the United States you may face the same thing. The labor is our main toolbox or our major asset. 80% of the cost of the dealership coming from them, and it's 80% of the question. But how many energy, and I go to what Werner said, how many time and energy do we really set up, do we put in this action? I think the question, we have some kind of response of one of the roots of the problem here in the room. You remember 2 years ago, we had the same meeting here with one subject. The subject was, what is the future of the distribution? I don't know, those of you who were here, I think you remember, the whole room was just crowded. No room enough to be able to accept all people who would like to come. You know, I'm not very concerned about the future of distribution, because the machines are so complex and sophisticated today. We will always need people to fix, to train, and so on. So the question is not, is there any future? Question is more, and this is more the concern, who will be the people who will have to get the job done? That's the whole thing. But looking how many people are in the room today means that we are not sufficiently aware of this question. Maybe the problem is not bad enough. If it would be worse, maybe we would have more people. So the main thing is there. You all experience it, building a new facility, a new building for your operations, you know. And I don't think that you can have a new building just putting an ad on a newspaper and saying, I'd like to buy a great 2,000 square meters operation facility to make my job, and just wait for somebody to answer the ad, and then just take your arms and say, okay, nobody's coming, I won't have my building. And I think it's the same thing with what we are talking about here, because if you want to set up a new building, then you will spend hours finding an architect, talking with electricians, builders, and so on. How many hours will you spend in site meetings with all guys to get this done? And I think the whole question is, our main asset is people, and we have to invest a lot and much more time and effort in these actions. So we've seen towards the presentation that there are two questions. One is about the educational schools network and organization for initial, for apprenticeship, and for training over the whole career. And in this issue, manufacturers helps us a lot, of course. And then the second question is about job promotion. And this is a big thing, because I think in all countries the same thing. In France in the 50s, we had more than 3 million farmers in the whole country. 70 years later, we have 350,000. So it means the difference, more than 2.5 million people went from the farms to other jobs. And a lot of those guys just went in our companies to make our job. Today, with 300,000 farmers, there's no chance we can hire our people from those guys. Because even if in 20 years there are only 100,000 more farmers left, never we will have enough people to alimент our jobs. We need 50,000 people working to do the job done. So we just need to open much more our job and our approach to general population, and it's one of our main concern today. So try to end this discussion here. We all know that our jobs are completely indispensable to the good functioning of the global food chain, and it was said in the video. We cannot eat if we don't have people today to fix and make the machines running in the fields. So when we look at our jobs, there are a lot of opportunities that we offer. Not trying to see everything, but just thinking a little bit, we offer 100% employment. It's something important today, especially in France, where we still have 10% unemployment. 97% of those jobs are long-term jobs. We offer a wide variety of type of each task that make people in our companies are different today from tomorrow and from another day. So we have a very wide variety of type of jobs. We just every day experience high tech. That is something interesting also. Our guys are quite autonomous within the companies, what is a good thing also for them. And we still have a contact with the customer, so it's important because it gives sense, gives concrete action for the guys who work in our companies. And I think it's something very important for the self-satisfaction, and we know that the young today are very attached to this. And to finish also, you all know today that in our companies, in our jobs, we pay more and more, and we pay more that in other type of jobs, like in automotive industry, for example. So I think to try to finish and close this discussion, I think we have, as Werner said, to just let it know very broad to be successful in the future. Thank you very much.
So thank you for joining us today. If you want to continue the discussion, the SIMA exhibitors invite us in VIP Club, Hall 6, in order to have a drink and continue discussion if we want it. Thanks a lot to join us today, and see you perhaps in 2 years. Bye-bye.